Hey you guys, it's Amanda with Healthy House on the Block, and I'm here with our weekly video and tip on creating an indoor space that truly supports your health and your wellness without burdening it down. And today we are talking about kitchen appliances. So the small kitchen appliances that sit on your countertop. We are going to go through what you need to look for in choosing a healthy kitchen appliance, what to do if you don't have healthy kitchen appliances right now, which most of us probably don't. And I will just say it's a big task to research these items and decide when to purchase them and find money in the budget to replace them all quickly. So we're going to talk about planning ahead for the future and how you can do that. I'm also going to give you my top picks for the healthiest appliances that you can find for your kitchen that are the small kitchen appliances, anything from blenders to waffle makers, all kinds of those little neat appliances that really make our cooking easier and simpler, but sometimes can add toxins to our food, which we want to avoid. So let's jump in and find out what we need to be shopping for when we're looking for those appliances. So I really have a love-hate relationship with small kitchen appliances of just about any kind. I really love how they make cooking more fun and more enjoyable, but I also really struggle with storing appliances that I don't want out on my countertop. But there's also another thing that I've come to notice about small kitchen appliances, and that is that most of them are made with a lot of plastic, non-stick surfaces, and aluminum that touches the food that I'm cooking. And nothing is more frustrating than prepping healthy food in a way that introduces it to toxins. So before I dive into all things toxin-free small kitchen appliances, I have to give this one caveat. And if you've been around my blog, you'll be hearing a repeat, but I promise you it is worth repeating. There is absolutely no need to run out and replace your small kitchen appliances just for the sake of replacing them with a lower toxin option. Unless you just feel so strongly about it or you've been planning to replace them, please remember that this video is about planning ahead for these purchases in the future. So if at some point you can swap out small kitchen appliances or your current item breaks, I am currently there with my coffee maker, then you can come back and reference this post and this video or have these items added to your healthy home blueprint as your plan for the future. So I am not all for replacing perfectly functioning items just because. There is definitely a time and a place. So with that said, let's dive in and talk about small appliances. So many small kitchen appliances are made with a lot of plastic. They have the non-stick coated surfaces, which makes it easier for cooking. But while these may make cooking easier in the long run, they're actually really toxic to our health, our food, and our kitchens. And we're going to talk about the important materials to avoid right off the bat. So plastic is the big one. It contains bisphenol toxins, phthalates, and other plasticizers. These are going to leach into your food being contained within the plastic. So plastic is not necessarily a deal breaker for every small kitchen appliance, but it's important to know what to look for. So plastic that touches food and more importantly touches warm food is something to be on the lookout for. That being said, it can be really difficult to find things like plastic-free food processors, plastic-free coffee makers, plastic-free blenders. But know that with the right research and this list I'm going to give you at the end of the video, you can certainly find options that have the very least less plastic touching your food in comparison to conventional options. So aluminum is another thing we want to avoid. Any aluminum that touches food should be avoided wherever you can in the entire kitchen. So aluminum is highly reactive and a known neurotoxin that affects over 200 important functions within the human body. It has been linked to Alzheimer's disease and dementia and nervous system damage. It's also been linked to autism spectrum disorders. And while aluminum is often used to transfer heat evenly, if the aluminum is on the outer layer of any sort of pan or appliance, this is something you want to avoid. And then finally, nonstick coating. So when heated, nonstick coatings such as Teflon release at least 6 toxic gases, most of which are carcinogenic. Teflon is highly toxic when heated and quickly reaches a really unsafe temperature just when you're preheating it. It has been linked to cancer, increased risk of tumors, and reproductive problems. And another scary statistic is that 98% of Americans have detectable levels of PFAs and PFCs in their body all the time. And while we're really kind of raining on this Teflon parade, there are more health effects that have come to light just in the past several years. And these are things like suppressed immune function, increased allergies and asthma, metabolic diseases. This would be obesity and diabetes, endocrine disruption, and an increased chance of miscarriage. So we want to find appliances that don't have this non-stick coating wherever we can when it comes to small appliances. So another question I get a lot when we're talking about small appliances, what about the Proposition 65 warning? So that tricky Prop 65 California warning label is honestly on just about everything. And if you remember back to my post a few months ago, I shared some information about how to go about using this label. So while yes, the label does indicate that there could be toxic components in whatever particular small kitchen appliance you're looking at, I guarantee you won't find a small kitchen appliance that doesn't have this warning label on it. And often the label is there to protect the company or the manufacturer. And this is because when used correctly, the small kitchen appliance poses no harm to the consumer. However, once the item is either taken apart or used in an unsafe way, the consumer can be exposed to toxins that may be normally enclosed within the mechanisms of the small kitchen appliance. So I don't think there's a lot of need to worry with this one if you're shopping in the right way, which we're going to talk about next. So how do you start replacing these items without the overwhelm? I am a firm believer in using things until they wear out, truly. So don't overwhelm yourself with thinking that you need to replace all of these items right off the bat. Small kitchen appliances can be hard to find, and it can be something that a lot of us need to budget for as well. So the first thing we're going to do is make a list. If you have gone through my Healthy Home Blueprint course, you have my templates to make a plan or a blueprint for everything in your house. And this helps you decide what your new replacements for small kitchen appliances will be and in what order you plan to replace them in. The other benefit to making a list is that if one of your items breaks unexpectedly, you already know which one you'll be replacing it with in the future. So the second thing we're going to do is look for sales. You know that there are times of the year when everything seems to be on sale. So Black Friday, Labor Day, Memorial Day, President's Day, you know them. So be on the lookout for sales for the items on the list that I'm going to share with you. A great way to watch for these sales is to get on their mailing list and then pay attention to when they have big discounts. And if you can stack a coupon code on top of any of these sales, it's all the better. And then the third thing we're going to do is simplify. So many small kitchen appliances can do similar things to another kind of appliance. So for example, many kitchens do just fine using a blender in place of a food processor. Maybe you can use an Instant Pot in place of a crock pot by using the slow cook feature. And many toaster ovens also act as an actual toaster. There's also options for toaster ovens that are air fryers or have an air fry option as well. So you don't need to have every small kitchen appliance. And so maybe considering getting one item to replace two of your current items is really the way to go. So here's the fun part. We are going to be talking about all of my small kitchen appliance picks for any healthy house. So the first one we're going to look at is blenders. Be sure to look for glass canisters that are made from glass and have as little plastic where food contacts the blender as possible. These are 3 great options that you can find linked in my blog post this week. I have the blog link in the description at the end of the video, and you'll find all of these exact items in the post. So food processors, again, trying to find a food processor with as little plastic touching your food as possible is the goal. You can opt for either a stainless steel or glass canister when it comes to the food processor. Immersion blenders are a really great tool for the kitchen. You want to avoid plastic and go for an all metal blender stick to ensure that your food doesn't come into contact with toxins. The 3 I listed here have stainless steel blender sticks, and that's what I prefer. Toaster ovens are one that you're going to have to watch out for PFAs and nano ceramic nonstick coatings that tend to cover all of the surfaces that you'll be toasting or cooking your food on. So opt for a stainless steel or silicone coating, as these options tend to leach less toxins into your food. If you have a toaster oven currently, you can always swap out the tray for something that is stainless steel that doesn't necessarily have non-stick on it. Waffle makers, we want to avoid non-stick. I know this makes waffles like super simple and clean, but the non-stick is where we see all of the toxins, and you want to make sure that there is no aluminum in the outer surface where your waffles will be cooking. So the best options are using waffle makers with either a silicone based coating. This is more inert and it allows for less toxin leaching, or if you can find a good old cast iron waffle maker, that's another option. So pressure cookers, the best one I found is the Instant Pot. The cooking area where your food will be touching the surface is obviously the most important to pay attention to. You want to make sure that it's free from any sort of non-stick coating and free from aluminum in the surface. Enclosed aluminum is actually fine. It helps heat the pot more evenly, but anything on that outer layer is what we want to watch for. Also going to share with you some air fryers. So watch out for, again, PFAs and nanoceramic non-stick coatings. These can tend to cover the surfaces that you'll be frying your food on or air frying your food on. We want something that is glass or stainless steel. If you have to have a coating, make sure that it is that silicone coating, as these options are just going to leach less toxins into your food. And then finally, crock pots. The cooking area where your food will be touching the surface is obviously the most important. So it's usually that liner that you take out. We want something that is perhaps a stainless steel, but we want it to be free from any sort of non-stick coating. We want it to be free from any aluminum on the surface. The VitaClay is actually made of a completely toxin-free ceramic clay that retains heat really well, and it's a really authentic way of cooking. So I like that option. And then the other one has the stainless steel insert in it. So the next time you are in the market for a new small kitchen appliance, take it as an opportunity to reduce toxins and make your home a healthier space. I hope you will save this video and come back and reference it when you are ready to make these big purchases. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you'll subscribe to my channel so that you can be up to date on all of the new videos that come out. I publish one every single week on a new topic that really helps create an environment in your home that supports your health and your wellness.